today for at least an hour, hour and a half. See what we working with. Hope everybody doing good today. Hope y'all doing good today. It's Thursday. Getting some stuff, you know. See what we got real quick. See how y'all feeling out there today. What we gonna talk about? Got this world premiere today. Turn it on. What's up? Just coming on here live right now. Well, he had it coming to him. I mean, come on now. He had the audacity. He had the audacity. I'm like, where did they dig him out of? I hadn't even thought about that turkey and in I don't know how long. I'm like, where did they dig him up out of him? You know. What's up, Zach? You must have been reading my mind because I decided to do this moored steak just as you wrote that. So thank you. Parsons, real minor career. And I'm like, where did they dig him out of? I appreciate you telling me about it too, because you know I was gonna set it off. You know I was gonna set it off. You know I was gonna get into him. I'm like, where did they dig you up out of? Chandler Parsons, I ain't heard that name in years, and I hadn't thought about him in years. And I thought, boy, somebody must have had a slow news day to dig him up out of. A third tier reject that was just, I mean, a barely a footnote. And I'm like, him? Chandler Parsons? Who? Because I'm like, I forgot he even, when you don't hear a name, oh, yeah, I'm glad you did. And I had to roast him. I had to get some roasted nuts and roast that turkey because I'm like, you got to be kidding. The heck are you going to talk about? Who cares about your opinion, Chandler Parsons? You should go ahead and get your NBA pension and go hide in your cave. Will they dig you up? I don't know. Well, yeah. Well, it'll come down to turnovers, but I just think that the problem the Bills run into is how they going to stop Derrick Henry. See, you want me to talk real talk. What's up? If you want me to talk real talk, the Bills' problem is going to be against Derrick Henry. That's the problem. He they haven't been able to stop the run all year. And that's the why I'm not that's why I'm cautious in this game. I'm very cautious because they got to go against a team that run them all, and they haven't stopped the run. If you want to beat the Bills, you chew clock up, or you get physical and you run. That's where I'm kind of like, if I'm being honest, in my totality. Yeah, because they got ate up the last time, and they've never stopped Derrick Henry really. Little Von Miller, where you got to come and earn your money. Gotta, and this is where uh, Milano, this is because they will run the gut up on you, and that's Achilles. See, there are certain styles that teams give teams problems with. That's how the Bills, the Baltimore's problem, Kansas City's problems against Joe Burrow. The style he can, he did. I don't know. That's why you ain't heard me gushing about how great the Bills have looked, cause he's been a problem for us. I don't know who you is, and you just gonna come jump on here, and you ain't even. We're on a live stream, so you have to introduce yourself. I don't know who you is. talking about football. We talking about Baltimore Ravens, Buffalo Bills. If you sure you're on the right place, I'm definitely getting some hits on this though. This is gonna be a good poll. Yeah, I'm on here for like a nice hour and a half today. Come on here and chop it up. Working on some videos I got. I definitely just got through finishing that video about uh smart one. Just got to doing that video about John Morant and that Victor Wembanyama. Oh god, that dunk. Woo! Man, that's the only thing about with Ja. I just hope he stays healthy. But that cat got some spring in him. That cat got some spring. John Morant can levitate. That was levitation last night. I was like, whoa, that cat got hops. But I like him. I just want him to be healthy and consistent. Cause I did a video about the Rockets and the Grizzlies. See, I like stuff like that. I talk about it. Watch my videos. I cover a wide range on NBA, and I've been watching. And I like, when he's healthy. I just think he needs a sidekick, someone, can score points with him, levitate with him. But they got to play some defense. But they fun to watch, and he is fun to watch. And if he gets his game down pat, he can remind people because they are third seed right now. They gonna be a problem. I got no problem with it. I got no problem with it. I welcome the new taking over. I got no problem with it because you know that's where it should be. Olgar got to get ready to go. They got to get ready to go because I'm not. It's their time to shine. And when you coming on here, please hit this likes, hit these subscribes, take this poll question. And you a football fan? Oh, if you want to talk about something else, we can talk about whatever. We can talk about LA, the road to recovery as far as the fires. We can talk about whatever. He's got potential to be. I'm not gonna say that yet. He's got potential to be because this is just the warm up. You're seeing the green still. About another year or two, it gets better and better. It's on its way. I'm not gonna call him great yet because this team is average, and I don't reward mediocrity. I don't because I was gonna do a poll question about that whole Lamelo Ball and that whole thing with Donovan Mitchell. I don't reward mediocrity, but he's on his way. He just has to get a young guard. He could get, or they could get somebody like a Parker Ginobili type with him and get a couple cats off the bench. Is that for real or is it just a rumor? What's up? What's happening, Will? Good to see you. What's happening? Ted, is that a rumor or is it just a I hope it's a rumor. I hope it is. I would hate to think he would take his talents to Dallas. That's because Jerry didn't got his ear. And they do need to have a brother as a quarterback. I mean, as a head coach, that's real fashionable. That would dispel a lot of stuff. But I don't know what he's gonna do about the quarterback situation. And I know a lot of the college cats hope he does leave because they would because they really wouldn't want him to actually be a threat to win national titles. I hate to be the one to bust his bubble, but he wouldn't do nothing in Dallas. They're not good enough to beat. They're not going to be up with Philly and what Washington's got. He's going to have hardships the first couple years if he was to take the gig. If he's having a hard time with college kids trying to play some defense, what's he going to do with that Cowboy team? For real. They'd be better off him suited up trying to come back. And I don't like it because then I would look at him kind of sideways anyway. Yes, he has. And you know I'm a big Shaq fan, but yes, he has. I'm glad you asked me that. How's he perfect for Dallas? How? How? Because he played there and he won there? Dak Prescott is not a winnable quarterback. They got a marginal running game. They got a good receiver. They're homogenized on defense. They half hearted. How is he good for them? It's good for Jerry Jones from a PR perspective because it'll make Jerry Jones like he's hip and happening. And I'm gonna give you a hot take. I'm gonna give you a hot take right now. If Deion Sanders takes that job for the Dallas Cowboys, he's sold out. He's a sellout, and I said it. Yeah, Shaq done said too much about Dwight. He need to let that mess go. He being petty. Look, nobody who's seen Shaq in his peak in his prime is gonna think the White was even a half or a quarter of Shaq. He wasn't. He the White was a never was. Oh yeah, if he takes that Dallas Cowboy job, he's sold out. Oh yeah, I said I'll do a video about it. That's how much don't like Jerry Jones, and I know what he's about. And then that knows that Dion didn't really shuffleboard it. Oh yeah, I'm going there because of all the jobs to take. Troy Aikman coming out and saying that's not a nobody sane wants that job. Oh, they're bringing up Witten. And you know why? Because of Dan Campbell, a meaty looking type of dude. Because of the styling, that's why. And Witten was a hard working player, just like Dan Campbell. That's why. It makes sense from that. These meaty tight end linebackers, just like Vrabel going to New England. Oh, it makes sense. You're not getting the imagery of it. And they think maybe you'll have this gimmicky lunch pail thing that will toughen him up and he'll catch on. That's what they're going. I get it. I get it. Y'all not looking at the imagery of it. I know why Witten getting it, what they're saying. I get it. I get it. And actually, I think Witten's style is either there or Daryl Johnston, like the Moose, because you know somebody like that would be a Jerry Jones hire. The guy who did get a blazer on Fox Sports, got a hookup, got a pickup truck, Range Rover, would fit in good with what they're trying to sell the Dallas aesthetic. It makes sense. You just have to think in terms of the imagery of it connected. Witten, Daryl Johnston, yup, certain types. They look. There's a certain type. Bill Bates back in the '80s, but that was before where, but a guy like that. Even Troy Aikman to an extent would be his style, his vibe, if he was interested. But they tend to like them big old country bull riding cats that they like, yeah, he'd fit in real good. Mm-hmm. It's a certain type. Mm-hmm. So I'm not surprised. But yeah, I stand by what I say. If Dion takes that job, that's sold out. He's sold out. I'd rather see Deion Sanders go to the Steelers if they moved on from Mike Tomlin than anything. He was. No, he ain't. And he does speak. And he let it be known how he feel about Jimmy Johnson. He ain't soft. And he did say no, that job is not that alluring. It's not. 30 years since you last been to a Super Bowl. He was. The Rams. And I like Jaden Daniels, but um, actually the Rams. The Rams. Because I'm gonna tell you why. You want another hot take? I don't look at Washington beating Detroit as an upset. I don't. I don't. I think that if they play a balanced brand of football, don't be cute, don't turn the ball over, and play even, that's a winnable game. I think the Rams is more of an upset because I think Philly's the best team in the NFC. Their defense. Did you watch my live streams? Who have I been saying is the best defense I've seen? I said the Philadelphia Eagles. Who do I think has the MVP? The Philadelphia Eagles with Saquon Barkley. Who's the most disrespected quarterback going in these postseasons right now? Jalen Hurts. People treating him and acting like he was an MVP runner up and he didn't have a say. So, yeah, I'm standing by that. The Rams, because the Rams, I will give Dan Orlovsky if he, I don't remember much of his career, but I will give him that if he's actually right about the Rams being a dangerous team in the postseason. Yeah, because they are Sean McVay can draw some things. I told you the AFC, the NFC got better chances of more surprises than the AFC because the bottom teams in the NFC match up well in different ways. Washington beating Detroit wouldn't exactly surprise me because Jaden Daniels is poised. I don't think they're going to win, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did. But the Rams to go and beat Philly would be a huge statement, considering that the NFC West isn't that strong like that. But the Rams have been one of those kind of teams that slowly getting well, slowly. That don't make no difference because Matthew Stafford can ball. All it takes is to catch Philly inept on offense, and sometimes they don't click on offense. So if Saquon ain't dominating, yeah, you guys always like all in green, but you ain't hear what I'm saying. The Rams are a team that can be a problem. I'm telling you, Matthew Stafford. If he's healthy, I saw that catch he made against Minnesota last week. If he's healthy, see, all they got to do is figure out how to kind of keep Saquon Barkley kind of contained where he don't go crazy on them. If they can keep him halfway intact, dare Jalen Hurts to beat them. Yeah, well, that was Shade. And Saquon gonna probably do good too, but I'm just saying, you asking, I think the Rams would be the upset. I don't think you'd be that surprised if Washington beat Detroit, but I think the Rams beating Philly because I think Philly's got the best defense. And they got the MVP as far as I'm concerned. And of course, I don't really wish Philly no good no way because of what they did to Saquon Barkley. I ain't changed. Part of me do hope the Rams beat their butt. I don't know, but I hope they're great. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. They weren't great last weekend. So the best game I saw was Washington and Tampa Bay. And that's sad to say. And you shouldn't. Because they look like crap the last few weeks. They looked like they were playing generic football and they were just they got complacent on offense. They just like a now I will say this. If CJ Stroud doesn't go in there and be cute and throw bad picks and can hold his own against Kansas City's rush and they can establish some kind of ground game, then they got a chance. They got a chance. But they got to make sure they catch Mahomes off. They got to make sure they get some turnovers, and they got to come in there with some fight. They cannot go in there and try to play even Steven. He can only upset if he has a near flawless game. That's it. And they got to score about 27 points or more. That 20 and less mess ain't going to get it done. They ain't playing the Chargers this week. And even Justin Herbert hit a bomb on them, if you remember. He had a couple opportunities in that game. They settled for field goals. Kansas City puts touchdowns on your butt, you in trouble. If Mahomes, and I got a feeling they're going to be better than what they were during the regular season. That's why no one's giving them a prayer. Because they know Mahomes and them were bored. 15 and 2 and you're bored. And basically 15 and 1 and you just gave that last game away. So, I don't know about that. They have to play a near flawless game. Good luck. Good luck with that. Can't give a prediction. It's tough to say. Only thing I can tell you is this: they probably do. I like Justin Herbert. He should have been battling Joe Burrow for Ben, but he just inconsistent as all get up. He's looking more like Derek Carr than he is Joe Burrow, and that's sad because Herbert was nice in college. I don't know what has become. I know he had a whack. No, yeah, see, no, no, don't say no mess like that. The Bills don't play that kind of defense, and Lamar ain't gonna make them kind of turnovers. So you really wishing on the star. If Buffalo does that, then they win the Super Bowl. I think that for the Bills to win, James Cook has to be big, and you know. But I'm gonna say it like this though: Derrick Henry is that greyhound that if he gets going, I want to know. I hope y'all scores is accurate. I hope it ain't the other way around. But I'm gonna tell you something. You're dissing the Ravens something something. You're acting like Lamar ain't gonna come to play. And I'm gonna tell you something. It's gonna be a lot closer than that. If the Bills win, I'm thinking like 27-24. But if the Ravens win, I'm thinking something like 34-24. Because it's gonna be tougher for the Bills to just go out there and bust them up. And because the Bills ain't played no defense all year. And I don't know what y'all watching. I don't know what game y'all watching. I don't know what Bills y'all watching. They haven't blown nobody out like that. They play close games and they've done enough. The reason why it's tough for me to say who wins is because they won't win no Super Bowl. They have a game like that, Carter. They will not win a Super Bowl. That's what you want to avoid. It's one of those kind of situations that they got to stop Derrick Henry and they got to make sure Lamar doesn't get his way and roll on them. It's going to be a tough game. Tough. Very tough game. And I can't say. I can't say. What I want is the Bills to win. But do I know it's going to be a tough game? Yes. Do I have utmost respect for Lamar Jackson? Heck yeah. Heck yeah. He's due for a good game because he's been looking like he ready for the old folks home. So he due for a good game. But I don't have no expectations for him. And I don't know. Again, I don't know what football y'all watching because that Von Miller ain't been in the building in about 3 or 4 years. That guy had one. He's had a couple alright games for the Bills, but that dude is long gone. I don't know. I don't have no expectation for him right now. We got him more in name only than we got him in where he was. That's all I'm gonna say about that. And I like Vaughn, but they don't stop the run. I'm a Bills fan. I can speak on it just like you can speak on the bus. I, they don't stop the run. That is. Well, he caught his groove when they beat the Patriots. They kept the game close. They ran a great defense in that one. He hit that haymaker against the Broncos. That was huge. And the 49ers, he played at a even keel level. Yeah, when they beat Andrew Luck. Yeah. Well, you're going to get criticism because some people are going to think he ain't been around long enough, and they need to see a full body of work. I don't need to see a full body of work. Mad Dog Russo said he is the best I've seen now. I think Brady's the better overall player because he's got the rings and the impact and the depth. But at quarterbacking, I got to say Mahomes because I haven't seen a guy that can put it like that, and that's why it's hard to go against him. He really is on another level, you know. I mean, and I'm saying this because of the skills he's got. Oh yeah, it will be no question asked. I do something. I've been out already. I went to a church revival and went grocery shopping. What did you do? Except popping your gums, coming on here trying to troll. If he three-peats, he will be the GOAT. If he three-peats, I want to see him getting 4 times as much coverage as Caitlin Clark because there will be no reason why you can't talk about Patrick Mahomes in a level that is out of this world. There's no way you can avoid it. So if he three-peats, he should get every kind of billing you imagine. Because if he three-peats, you can change NFL logo to him, and I do see him winning a couple more rings or so because he you can just see it in him. He just got that it. I can't explain it, but I know when I see someone that's got an it, and he's got that it. So one of a kind. I can't stand it when turkeys come on trolling, and this is all this is. So, something to say. If you got nothing to say, you gotta say something. Okay, keep on talking. What you mean is rare? It doesn't ever happen. What you talking about? Because you got to go back to when they were doing NFL titles when Vince Lombardi and were winning all that. That doesn't happen in the modern at all. Especially when a guy that has just, it's rare. It's rare. But I'm watching somebody, and I'm like, this dude is scary. He's not my hero, but I do like Lamar Jackson. I do think he's a great talent. If he was to go off and win the chip this year and do the whole nine, he becomes a top 10 quarterback. He's in the top 10 ever. Probably just that number 10, but still. Because you can't even begin to imagine what all that he's looking at. His fortunes could be incredible. And he's a rare talent. He's not no hero, man, but I definitely like his quarterbacking. Wow, more people say that Lamar Jackson's got more stake than Josh Allen. Wow, okay. Keep on hitting these polls up. I like that. Keep hitting that poll up. Yeah, because if he's got multiple league MVPs, a Super Bowl MVP, and a Super Bowl champion, and a Heisman Trophy winner, because they take everything in totality. Then when you figure out his passing yards, all-time leader quarterback running, yeah, because no one is going to do. He's gonna be he's a standard. He beat you with his arm and his wheels, and he'll have the hardware. Yeah, that's top 10. And if he wins another league MVP, and he was to go off and win the Super Bowl and be the league, and when they win that, uh, you realize he'd be one league MVP behind Aaron Rodgers' whole career if he goes and runs the table this year. Yes, I see a top 10. He might not be as considered as gifted as Aaron Rodgers, but he'd almost have Aaron Rodgers' whole body of work right now. If he wins the league and does it, that's what I did a video on it. I did the job. Just got through. It's already up. You got to check my videos. I talked about Josh Spring. That was sick. He's not just fast. He also getting his arm. Oh yeah, well Rex Ryan, the Rodney Dangerfield. That's what I yeah. I mean he's ridiculous. He's always like crying. I think and you mentioned it the other day, and I just said to go ahead. I went in on Rex. I appreciate you mentioning that because he up there crying, begging for the Jets to take him back. What you gonna do with the Jets? They got a halfway decent defense. You got no quarterback. Yeah, because that's more impressive than Kevin Johnson's for his size and his strength. And that made me think about Vince Carter. That's what I thought. I was like, this guy. I just don't want him to get hurt. He is. I just don't want him to get hurt. I want to see him play a full year with that team in full situation. Because now they're struggling against Houston. And can he match up against SGA? But I had a feeling if he's healthy and they got it together, they're going to be deep in the playoffs. And if I was the Lakers, I'd be trying to make a move for him to keep Anthony Davis in LA. But you ain't heard me say nothing. You ain't heard me. I'm giving hot takes today. You want some hot takes? I'll give you hot takes today. Well, if I'm Anthony Davis, I might try to go there and team up with him. Either way, that's a combo that could be deadly. That kind of athleticism. Because it's the only problem I have with Memphis. They missing that kind of dude. Oh, he was ready for him. He was ready for him. He just got bammed on. That's all. You give 90%. When a cat goes up like that, he ain't KD who? Look, man, what year is this, Ted? What year are we in? What year is this? Tell me right out the year we in. This ain't 2015. No. I said Anthony. I said AD. I didn't say KD. I said AD. That's who you put that kind of inside out and that movement. That's the only thing that will save AD. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. KD ain't gonna do nothing. Now him going to Houston is a good look when you dope him, but Jalen Green's starting to go off lately. So Jalen Green was looking nice last night. They if they get their hands on somebody that can just purely, they could be deep. Houston got a nice squad. They got a nice squad. I'm seeing some things that I do like about some of the teams I see if they get it together. If they get it together. But a lot of basketball is pretty dreadful. But there are a few interesting stories. It could be a couple stories. But now, y'all bammed on him, gave him a full facial, clear cell. Wimby's pimples is gone. They gone. They vanished. That's my hot take. He ain't got no pimples. He got clearer cell. He wouldn't go there. This got all the makings of maybe Miami. He's not a bum. He's not a bum. How you gonna say that? I got more of an issue with his coach. I got more of an issue with Matt LaFleur. Matt LaFleur be getting out coached in the playoffs. That's a bit harsh. I like Jordan Love. I think that they didn't get coached up. That's what I say. They didn't get coached up. Against better teams, you got to get coached up. Yeah, and T. Davis was good. Jamal had all right game. We must didn't watch the same game because Saquon Barkley, that last play could have gone to the house. We must didn't watch the same game. They didn't stop Saquon. They did enough against Jalen Hurts, but they didn't play to win. That's where coaching is missed. See, they played an even Steven game against Philly, but they didn't draw up anything to really offset. Yeah, I understand the turnovers, but they only lost by 12 points. So 3 points per turnover. Think about it. Think about it. Some of that was on the coach. You got to put some of that on Matt LaFleur. Unless you're a Matt LaFleur fan, you better let me know. I think he's getting out coached. Well, you can figure out that you can go because I'm not dealing with no trolls today. Figure out. That's how I don't want to deal with that mess in here. I have to hold Jordan probably threw a couple bad picks. Yeah, but they didn't play to win. They still didn't stop Saquon Barkley. Barkley stopped on that last run. He could have had two bills on y'all. Remember that. They stopped. They put you to sleep. They don't beat you with a full spread of running you off the field. They beat you with time of possession. That's the one you need to check. But ask yourself this: they did not beat any top tier team this year. Somewhere along the lines, your coach got to be held accountable for that. That's a good question, Ted. Um, he's still kind. Okay, you want my answer? A better version of Eli Manning, but not better than Ben Roethlisberger. If you agree with what I say, give me a one. If you disagree, give me a two. Better version of Eli, minus beating up. Yeah, but not better than Big Ben. But think about it, because if he goes and does that, he's going up against better teams in the AFC. Because Kansas City's going for historical. So that makes the Eli argument. Baltimore, he getting away with Lamar, and then Buffalo. So, and of course, wouldn't it be something LA and Buffalo played in the Super Bowl and the Von Miller Bowl? These stories are crazy. But yeah, he would be a better version of Eli, but still not better than Big Ben. Got numbers, but not a guy that you sit around debating as an all-time great quarterback. So it doesn't really make you sit there and go, "Oh, Matthew Stafford is he's not that dude." Nobody who's watched football the last 40 plus years is gonna take him over Dan Marino. Nobody's gonna take him over Aaron Rodgers. Nobody's gonna take him over Peyton Manning. Nobody's gonna take him over John Elway. See, and I named four guys off the top. So obviously he ain't in the Mahomes Brady Montana clique. That's seven guys right there. That's seven. Then we get into a debate. How does he fare against Troy Aikman's? A ring more than Steve Young, you know. So it doesn't really move the needle much for him. It really doesn't. Oh, it shocked the world. It shocked the world. He could almost name himself Muhammad Ali because you talk about shock the world because nobody would see it. And it almost be like a fairy tale. And then Magic's got the part ownership of Washington. He got the gold medal from Biden. Then you would think, oh, coming to America. I like Jaden though. I saw what he did for that fan uh, in the hospital. He's a good brother. And he got some fortunes with him. I just, and he's everything the RG3 wasn't. Think about it. He got that playoff win. He's poised. They're gonna be better. That's the scary part. He's poised. He's got a real poised game, smart, and looks pretty wise. I think they can beat Detroit. Not gonna be easy, and he might get the doorknobs blew off him. But I think they, if I think they got I think they have, but I wouldn't be like an upset to me. I still look at the Rams beating Philly like my upset because I just think that Philly to me has been the better team I've seen. But Washington is a Cinderella. They playing with house money. Not supposed to be here, so I think it would be incredible. Yeah, but a different type of quarterback. You got to understand something. Lamar was raw and rugged. It was like playing sandlot football. I remember when the Chargers beat him and all that. I understand the offense of it. I understand the offense of it. It's a very touchy subject. Depends on who you talk to, who you ask. You know, you know. I ain't got no problem with them changing it. I have no problem at all. They had some suspect owners before, so from Jack Kent Cook to Daniel Snyder. I mean, they've had some real janky cats. So, and if they can bury that, then more power to it. And anytime people feel like they're offending people and they want to make a difference, I'm not going to argue with that. Who am I to argue? I'm not going to say nothing. Please continue to hit the likes and everything. Keep on, keep on, keep on. See what we talking about. Got some good conversation going. We got this poll going. It's going really good. Lamar Jackson is more at stake. I like. Yeah. I don't think people are even thinking that Josh Allen has anything at stake at this stage because Lamar is polarizing, and with the league MVPs and what he's doing, it's like, will he ever get through the? That's it's an interesting question. So keep on hitting the likes up. We'll see where everybody's at. Come on back. I like your questions, Ted. That was a good question. Okay, come Come on now. I need some more questions. Feel free to holler. Yeah, I think he is. I like him. I like him, but I like him, but first of all, I think what I mean, Stephon Diggs is a really good receiver, but Stephon Diggs ain't exactly the kind of receiver that you suddenly you know that it shows something that you got. He just not turning the ball over. That's all. I still think at times he's not being over coached up, and I still think at times he's still trying to do too much with the ball. He will for me, and I have been very critical of him. You watch my live streams, tail to tail. I've been very critical of Josh Allen. Very. The best he played was against Kansas City in a second round game they lost. But his other postseason losses, I let the Jacksonville first one slide. The one against Houston, he choked the game, took that bad sack, and he was trying to do too much. Against Cincinnati, they played like they were drunk and he was ineffective, and I don't blame Diggs for getting at him. Last year, that was Diggs dropping that ball, but they had Kansas City and he forced a lot of issues. So I don't cut Josh no slack. He's talented. Fans say Campbell. He ain't being hard on Shador. Shador got to know the realities. There's a lot of pressure to living up to being a great quarterback, and you black and you come to the NFL. You have to be prepared and think differently. You don't get the same level as your white counterparts do. You just don't. You just don't. The worst thing you can tell is like, well, you're a quarterback. It's not the same. We're talking about Lamar Jackson, who been told to be a running back, even though he won a league MVP by Bill Polian only a few years ago, and was still trying to bring the nonsense up. So it hits differently. Shador got to be ready for the haterade. Very good, very good. A guy who was strong, but I also think we never got the full potential out of him because he never had top tier quality with him as far as a receiver and stuff to play with him. But the fact that he took that team to a Super Bowl, a one loss record, a league MVP, could have been more. But I think that he didn't get the opportunities. I thought he was, you know, I thought he had a really good career, really good to very good. I still think he should have dived in that fumble for that fumble. But I think that he had a really good to very good career. But he'd have had an offense and had an offensive minded coach early in his career. Who knows? Like he started with those 300-yard games. Who knows how his career would have progressed? He definitely made himself into a very good quarterback. That's how I remember him. But he also took some unnecessary hits, and he didn't get treated like a MVP quarterback because they used to tee off on him. Stuff that they got hit him in the head. You can't do that now. That's because he's thinking that she gonna be another baby mama. And plus, he probably thinking, look, if a cornball like Ocho can get with that, you see how super fly I look with my hats on? I gotta have a chance. I can holler. I could definitely. If Ocho got hope, I know what he thinking. Um, there was too much pressure for him, and he knew he blew it. He looked bad in that game. No, good Von Miller credit and Wade Phillips defense. You know, put him in a quagmire. Had his head all thrown because Von Miller busted the Patriots cakes up. That's why they went and got that right side fixed because Gronkowski was getting pounded and they was giving Terran Brady's behind up on that line. That's what they had to do. That's why Von was unstoppable. You know, so but that's what hurt him though. If you think you can get a 304 and you ain't got you think you can holler, you holler in the street, sure. Of course you gonna try to holler. I just think Ocho happened to have some of that um, coming to America voodoo working. That's all. They were physical. They were physical, and what you call in the secondary. They would. Wade Phillips can coach some defense on the line. He can coach you up. He's one of the best defensive coordinators ever. Yeah, where was I mean they beasted. They feasted. So got physical with him. And of course Cam got scared because he wasn't gonna dive in there. He gonna mess up his hair. That was beasting. No, I wasn't talking about Terrence Steele. I forgot. He better in terms of what I want to say as far as the the full the trajectory within the game. Parsons is one of those guys that's a game maker. Like you're looking for like a flip of the game. That's why they're trying to hype up Parsons because of the strip fumbles and the run backs and that. But Ware give you more totality. Parsons is like a fast food. That's the difference. Ware is like a full course meal. Parsons is more like fast food. And they looking for instantaneous. And when he don't give you instantaneous, then he's long with it. Then he gives you those out the window takes he does on his podcast. That's what's up. Yeah, I remember Terrence too. Terrence Newman was like playing like he was Victor Newman from the Young and the Restless. Mm-hmm. Just getting burned. Just getting burned. But I can't think of who it was. The one that's with the Broncos who took off Michael Crabtree's chain. That's who was the cornerback for the Broncos. Why not think of his name right now? Because he was on there when they won that Super Bowl when they beat Carolina. And he was a handful. You know, somebody throw his name up in the comments. That's who I was trying to think of. And they had a stacked defense that year. Talib, yep. Thank you. They had a stacked defense that year. They was ball. They busted Brady up. That game in that game up in Mile High just was pounding. Basically, what they told Peyton Manning: don't drop the rock. Just hand the ball off. Keep it to a minimal. We got you on defense. That's what they did. That's what they did. They was busting that butt up. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He was bad. He was bad. They had a stacked defense. When that Broncos defense at its fullest, that's what you get. That's what Sean Payton don't have right now because their defense is not that good. Not like that. We ain't got over that 70 burger that they got put on them against Miami. We ain't forgot about that. It wasn't that long ago. They played better this year, but they still sloppy. They can still run on them. The Bills ran on them. And if Jonathan Taylor don't forget the ball, get Bob Sanders. Yep. Yep. You calling all the right names. So, so yeah. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes guys, it all depends on who they're playing with. System. You know, I always tell you all the time, my thing is systematic. Sometimes you guys, they just systematic players. You get them, you don't get the same, or you get better. All depends on what you get. He was great in Seattle and past his prime in Baltimore. Sad thing about Earl Thomas, the X is making that's taking over more of how great he was as a player. That's the sad part because Earl was bad in Seattle. He was probably arguably their best talent. Him and him and I can't think his name. Yes, I do. Great question. Great question. Yes, I do. Because they moved him out the AFC East, put him in the South. He ran, he dominated. They changed the rules. They didn't let Tyler Law put hands on him. They cried and moaned to the NFL. Got to beat Kansas City up all those years. And he gets in the Super, and his postseasons weren't memorable. His Super Bowls are not memorable. He's the Greg Maddox. He's Greg Maddox, James Harden of regular seasons. His postseasons is like James Harden's tummy. Just ain't much in it, you know. So yeah, to me, that's why I always had an issue with the whole him versus Tom Brady argument. Because regular season, yeah, if we go by regular season, Peyton Manning is one of the two or three greatest quarterbacks I ever seen. But we go into postseason, his brother's more clutch than him in the postseason. If he played like Eli in the postseason with his regular season, then the whole Brady Montana, the Brady Manning thing would be bigger than Magic and Bird. I kid you not. I kid you not. But it ain't. It ain't. And it ain't because Brady got more rings and all that. It's because Brady was a better quarterback. He compartmentalized. Pretty much, aside for one more ring, pretty much. Aaron Rodgers is soggy in the postseason. I mean, he really, yeah, the drop off is extreme. It really is. He's probably like one of the most gifted quarterbacks, but his drop off in the postseason, and that's why it counts all the way. We gonna stop you during the season, and we'll say, okay, we'll stop. But when we gonna go in totality, we do totality. We don't do hybrid. We don't do half. This ain't like no divorce or some breakup where you get half, and we're gonna go by half. It's totality. I don't know. You tell me. Yeah, well, regular season. What does a regular season MVP mean? What's that mean in English? That doesn't equate to winning chips. Because right now, the NBA version of that is going to be uh, the NBA version going to be Giannis and Jokic. I don't know, but I think we're getting trolled, and I don't have time for that today. Anyway, oh yeah, he'll probably, yeah, and then he'll win a Super Bowl. Then he'll have Aaron Rodgers' career. Think about it. He gets MVP and he wins four. That's Aaron Rodgers' career with a Super Bowl winning and MVP. Then what you gonna do? That's why his situation is crazy. That's what makes the NFL so much fun. NFL is crazy like that. Lamar, Lamar got a chance, but he got. But people want to see if he can win the ring though. Andy, yeah, Andy Reid. Oh well, you gotta have the right talent though. You gotta have the right pieces. You can be a great brainiac, but you gotta have the right pieces. You don't win, but he got those three chips in the five Super Bowls. So now, yeah, you get bestowed as something, and you keep winning during the regular season and the postseason. It's like you didn't figure out something. You struck a nerve. Okay, keep on coming, cause well, Michael Vick was never in a situation. He did have that one NFC Championship game, but he wasn't a what we call a situation where he had a lot of opportunities. And Lamar is continuing that trajectory. I think Lamar is what I call more of a physical player that he's you can he's just driven and he's getting better, and that's the scary part. But Vic was more gifted, if you want my personal opinion. Vic was scary because he could throw that ball. Yeah, I remember. I remember that Saturday night because I was watching that game. It was cold in Greenville. I remember that night. They didn't want him to be a quarterback. Bill Polian, who used to be with the Bills and the Colts, said receiver. And even after he got MVP, they tried to downplay it. They've done Lamar dirty. Yeah, Vic just didn't come up good against Philly. That's all. Because a mobile quarterback in black is scary. That's a fact. Because they haven't. I can say that because black quarterbacks were, if you moved, you were used as a flanker. They want you or made you to a safety. Well, who's a bum? Andy Reid ain't had no bums at quarterbacks. He's had credible guys and he's had guys that were average. He ain't had no bum. I guess if you're gonna say John Fox did that with Tim Tebow, I will give you that. Even though I don't look at John Fox as a wizard, but getting 10, 11 straight wins out of Tebow, you about to look like a genius. 82 for Lamar. It's still going good for Lamar. Come on now, I gotta get these questions. Keep it coming. We looking. Yeah, I remember that. And Tebow looked like he was throwing the ball over the place, and John Fox was just kind of like, in. It's almost like, yeah. I used to run jokes. I used to say they should name it, take Vince Lombardi's name and call it the John Fox Award because Tebow looked like, it's like, you got to be kidding. And they were winning too. They were winning. When they beat Pittsburgh, I was like, wow. One year when they beat Pittsburgh, he did have some magic, but when they played New England, the magic went out the window, and the mediocrity that we thought he could be average went out the window too, because he looked like he didn't belong on the field. I mean, they really he won with a lot of quick slant passes, but he was erratic. He was erratic. That was one of the most hilarious seasons I've ever seen. But then he topped it off because then he tried to have a baseball career, and then I thought, wow, this guy is either a comedian or magician or he's on something. I don't know. He sure would. And then he hit like fool around with 180 yards in the second half and three touchdowns and run one. And God, it was crazy. It was uncanny, unlike anything I've ever seen. Yeah, and that was the last year he quarterback too. He got his, next thing I know, he went to the Jets and he was doing special teams, and he went to New England. And yeah, I thought, oh, he gonna be like Rex Ryan. He gonna play for everybody in the AFC East. If you can play, you can pretty much about do what you want to do. I mean, they made up stuff for Tebow. The baseball career was comedy. Nobody played Tebow out of mind like that. He was. B Dog was the truth. Now nobody took, like I said before, no one took Tebow too serious. Not at all. Not at all. course, I remember Jeff Boyd. Oh, Jeff Garcia. Yeah. So that was the old Playboy interview. What else was it with Jeff Garcia? T.O. used to talk trash about him. He was a good backup quarterback. He did his backup thing. That's what he did. Backup quarterback. Ooh, it's gonna be controversial and a hot take. I'm gonna start Palomaro because I've never seen anybody like him. His hair and his whole being be all over. He was disruptive. I'm gonna have to bench Ed Reed and cut Ronnie Lott, and I love Ronnie Lott, but Palomaro's is too crazy. I have to put him there. Ed Reed was like a hybrid of both of them in a way. And I love Ronnie Lott, but Ed Reed was like he could read the field and he'd knock your head off. So that's why. Uh, good quarterback. In some ways overachieve, in some ways underachieve. Um, did better in some ways, underachieve in some, taking care of himself, not understanding relationships dynamics with T.O. and just kind of yeah, because Andy Reid was a good a guy who understood how to coach up a quarterback, next man up, which he did. It's just that it didn't, it didn't work. Oh yeah, Troy was like three men in one. His hair would be on the one side, his hands would be on the other. He leg kick, jump kick. He was like a wrestler. Like if he had been a wrestler, Troy the hair man would have been wild in the ring, because his kind of energy was fanatic. And I hadn't really seen a guy that could cause so much disarray with how he would go back. And there really hasn't been anyone like him. Does that mean that he's well? I put him on all time Steelers defense. And does that? I mean, he was very hectic, and he had strong energy. He hit your behind. He could run. He chase you down, tackle. But his energy on the jump was crazy because no one jumped on the line like he did. He would jump you. So I have to say that. Yeah, Donovan was really good at points, and then he kind of got average, and then he kind of settled once he got a little limelight. He kind of got into mediocrity. He's a guy who could have been better. Does a ring make him better to some? Eh, it's hard to say because he's not that kind of dude that he'd have been just in the good box, you know, just in the good box, and that's good. But well, he did quarterback on the prison teams. I don't know if you know about when he was locked up. He quarterbacked both sides. That I do know. Um, what actually happened was Tony Dungy. Tony Dungy went to go visit him. Tony Dungy was a mentor, and he kept him in his thoughts and his prayers. Vic cut his locks off, and Vic was ready to redeem himself. And Andy, the NFL had welcome in, so that's one of those things. So and I think to be honest with you, because I'm a vegetarian vegan. However, I don't think the NFL was necessarily like outlawing what he did. I don't think there was. I think there was people who are, obviously they're they're canine lovers and what have you, and of course it's sentiment. But well, you're dreaming because first of all, black quarterback Jerry Jones. Do I have to keep telling you the obvious? Tell Jay Will the obvious about Jerry Jones. That's why this whole thing with Deion Sanders is like, because I know you're gonna throw Dak Prescott at me. What's the difference between Dak Prescott and Michael Vick? And just think about it. Imagery and vibe. Think about it. He did. But you got to remember that it was the Kuipers because some people take it pretty serious. Even though in the back roads and in the country, it's not a big thing in the country, depending on where you are. But you see, what really probably what it was is they probably was looking at him for tax evasion. That's what I think it really was. Because that cat probably was spending some money, big money. That's what it really be about. There's big money on it. And if you ain't claiming it to Uncle Sam, they're like, what you doing? But most people kind of, there were some who didn't move on from it with him, and some to this day still don't. But most people kind of moved on though. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. But the problem was he didn't have the right system when he was playing in Atlanta, and then he never had the components. Skill set was there. They put whatever they want to put at you. That's all I can say about it. Of course he did. He did it against Riley Cooper too. I'm not sitting up here telling you that he don't have tendencies. And let's get something straight. Two things can be true. I can applaud your talent. I can think that you are very talented, and I can also think you're sold out. I can also have be shrug shoulders with you. Yeah, that Cooper Riley, that whole mess. You know, I mean, like, yo, most of these cats are sold out though. I keep telling you all the time. Most of these cats are sold and bought and paid for because they don't really have much bite. I ain't seen none of them say, yeah, Coach Brian Flores is right against his lawsuit. This NFL is racist. They really just want to see us down here. That ain't what hurt him. His problem is he hold a rock too long and he looked indecisive and he looked like he want to run and then he get caught trying to throw the ball against his body. That's what got him with the fumbles. He would hold the ball too long. Sometimes he didn't really get hit, but he'd hold a rock too long and indecisiveness. And he didn't have a good 2-3 jump count because his thing was to take off or throw across his body. And I don't blame him. He got used by Robert Kraft because Mike Vrabel is basically going in, got to do the same thing. They want to meat and potatoes. They hoping to what 7-10, 8-9, 9-8, 10-7. That's what they hoping for. He said it to Robert Kraft. Robert Kraft goes, I don't see nothing. I don't see nothing wrong with your skin color. I don't see nothing wrong. Yeah, Robert Kraft was up there getting R. Kelly-ish. And I'm like, look, man. But Mayo said, just because my last name's Mayo, I'm not whipped. I'm a real one. And he should still get a job. He should get a coordinator job. He should get one. That was done to offset the stank. They ran Cam Newton out unfairly. Bill Belichick with his whole situation. And Robert Kraft wanted to show his fellow owners, see, I got one, I got one, I got one, I got mine. Where's yours? I got mine. Where's yours at? Well, yeah, Jay. Where's your one token coach at? Where I got mine out the way. Didn't even have to be told what to do. We're gonna suck this year, but I got one out the way. There it goes. There it goes. And Rob Gronkowski so well said, Mayo never had a chance. This was done on the books. If Mayo had have gotten that team to the playoffs, then he would have been stuck. He wanted this to happen. It's a setup and makes Kraft look slick and chic. And it takes all the stench away. Takes all the stink away about his getting with in the sweatshops and his back massage and all those issues that they got. Cause no one ever talks about Robert Kraft like they do Jerry Jones. No beady eyed. Know what he be doing. Know what be going on. at the Patriot Playboy Mansion. I mean, the Patriot Mansion. You know what go on? But anyway, um, I had to vent there. Forgive me. When y'all be mentioning that whole thing with Mayo, I had to vent. Just let that out. My bad. He sure did. What's up, JT? How you doing? What's happening? Good to see you. He did win it on purpose, and I don't blame him because he knew the writing was on the wall. He knew he got used. He knew he did. He won the first game and he won the last game, and they trying to romanticize. Well, he should have. Shoot, what did he do? He stunk it up. Now the Detroit game, I'm not gonna hold that bad passing in his end zone. That was against them. He had a couple, but this last game, you don't hold a rock, getting your butt sacked 9 times. You don't do that. No, he ain't. He don't feel like Kirk Cousins because Kirk Cousins is actually looks like a first tier. Is more of a second tier. We look at Sam Darnold as a third tier. There's a difference. See, that's the difference between the two. We we's with Kirk Cousins. We bought him kind of as a starter, but more of a low tier. We don't buy Sam Darnold. We think he's corny. He's if he can, that's his last hope. But he's not getting him to win. He's getting him to get credibility. He needs some street cred. That's what this is about. He needs some credibility. Because he keep hiring, all he do is hire white coaches, and you get Dion and Mr. Showmanship and Mr. Hype. And this could do wonders for people thinking Jerry is not out of touch. It's a good PR move. It makes him look fashionably chic. It's a fashionable move. It's not necessarily a move he'd want to make. Not with the people he's hired. I've seen the guys, the run of the mill guys he hires, the Dave Campbells of the world. No, they're worse than them because the fakers actually have been, in the last what 12, 13 years, they've been to three finals. They've got something to show for it. Even the in tournament trophy. Cowboys got flags on their poles and they butts knocked out early, and they got stuck with mediocrity and get their butt exposed. You know, the Fakers got that. At least got a little bit more going from. Not much, but they got a little bit more going from. The Cowboys are a joke, and they were done by week 9 this year. I didn't say week 18. I said week 9. That means half the season they were in motion. Like when you just going through the motions, like you act like you doing something, but you really ain't. You pantomiming, you lip syncing. That's what they were. They spent half a season lip syncing, and they stunk. That is a correlation between the Cowboys and the Lakers now, though, because the Lakers aren't going to win nothing. I know. I was telling JT that. I said lately. Well, he was shut down before that because when they got that butt, don't insult them. Don't listen. That's double. That bad insulting. But at least the Sixers went to the finals 20 years ago. Yeah, the Irish. What y'all done? Yeah, well, Joel Embiid and Dak are kind of like the same person, aren't they? Dak, they both got excuses. Talk a good game in the PR, and then they what they do. There's some truth to that. And is Paul George like your Ezekiel Elliott? There may be some truth to that too. Yeah, you might be on to something. You might now I might be making a football basketball rep. You need to stop. You brought that one on yourself. You might be on to something. You might be. Is CD Lamb like your Tyrese Maxey? Yeah, you might be. Nick Nurse turning into meathead Mike McCarthy. It all depends on who's dominating the line. That's the best thing I can tell you. Because if the Bills can find a way to not let Derrick Henry go crazy, they can win. But if Derrick Henry goes crazy, it's lights out. And that's really what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to. Josh Allen has to play a near flawless game, and James Cook has to cook. They have to be my our 1-2 combo against their 1-2 combo. You go in there trying to be cute and dance, and you get caught throwing a pick or anything funny happen, and you got Lamar rolling, you in trouble. If Derrick Henry gets going, you in real trouble. So they gotta play. They gotta figure out how to attack the line. They got to win the line because that's what it's gonna come down to. In what lifetime? Cowboys didn't make the playoffs this year, and the Sixers aren't either. So you're talking in the past tense, my friend. Very past tense. Sixers ain't making no playoffs this year. Playoffs? Can I do a Jim Moore? Playoffs? He's playing with a great player who's utilizing him at his apex and is showcasing it. And he just that's what it comes down to. But he had to humble himself to not be the man and to play along greatness. They just got to get another scorer though. Jamal Murray got to, and they got to play some defense. That's what's hurting them. I don't think it's gonna come down like that because I think that the Bills can impose their will early. Baltimore can impose their will early. I think it's a matter who can impose their will. I don't see it as like that close. They have played some close games, but Baltimore tends to wax that behind, and Buffalo has to wax that behind. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not even hearing about no. No, that would be a tacky turkey move. And what's up, Carl? That would be a tacky turkey move on several fronts. This ain't gonna be LeBron and Bronny. We don't want to see that. And Shador got some growing pains before he can come up and then just take Dak Prescott's job or anybody's job. You know, when Michael Penix did it in Atlanta, Kirk Cousins was being skitty and he's old. Dak had just signed a big deal, and Dak still got about 3 or 4 years. I still think Dak to the Steelers with Mike Tomlin would be sick. That's my personal opinion. If he gets the right situation, because I think that meaty situation would work better from the right coach. He hasn't had the right coach to get him. Oh wow! I remember Gus like yesterday. I liked him a lot. Thank you for the news. He was a very good guard back in the day. Now him and Dennis Johnson. Wow, that's how's he better than him? He ain't played pro football yet. I like Shador, but he sometimes he hang on to the rock too long. He gonna have to be more decisive. And when you play in the NFL, it's a whole nother world than when you played in college. There's another layer. And Shador is not better than Josh Hurt, and he's not better than Jaden. So that NFC alone is saying, "We'll welcome you, but good luck with that though." Like I said, Dion goes to Dallas. I'm calling sellout. That's what I'm gonna say. Because there's nothing there that says that you're gonna win. This is all about window dressing. That's what that's about. Jerry Jones right now is very desperate. I think Jason Witten. I think it's gonna be like the Dan Campbell, Mike Vrabel kind of thing. If I know, yeah, I said it. I did my videos about it. Already, Jay Will, you don't watch my videos. I touched on all that. I want to know how a man's destroying heat culture when they got 3 chips, 7 finals appearances, and we ain't even talking about all the Eastern Conference Finals appearances they had since he came to Miami. That's 3. How many rings Paul Pierce got? How many finals did he go to? So what's he talking about? The only person that I can say that I felt was Dwayne Wade because Dwayne should have been paid better, should have got some kind of ownership. I think Shaq had came, went, and he was done, and his body was giving out on him. LeBron wanted to go back to Cleveland. He wanted to have more of a say. Riley was gonna do that. And Jimmy Butler is a Pat Riley kind of dude, but he got kind of high on that South Beach lifestyle, Got in over his head. Didn't win. Didn't win. If you win a chip, Pat ain't gonna maybe mess with you. That still doesn't make the Cowboys better though. You know, they got a lot of work to do. They're not. They're the third best team in their own division. Jimmy didn't win a chip. He got them to two finals, and he got the three Eastern Conference Finals, and he blew one of those Eastern Conference Finals too. But he didn't win the chip. That's what Pat Riley's about. That's when you come to Miami. Hey, we got some standards here. They do. What did they say? Organizations win championships. Players come and go. That's a fact. That's a fact. I kid you not. The Lakers been winning championships. Did they stop winning championships after Magic and Kareem left? Did they stop after Shaq left? After Kobe left? So come on now. There is truth to what Carl is saying because Kyle Lowry's on record right now collaborating with what, and they, he might not have had the talent, but he wasn't a front tier dude. I always looked at him as a high second tier, low first. Of course, he can be grumpy because he sees half heartedness. He didn't leave it all on the floor. He didn't play that good in that Denver finals. I know he had some personal going on. He didn't play that well. Duncan Robinson played better. Bam played good. His style didn't match up good against Denver. I think if he played with somebody like Jokic, Jimmy would flourish. Jimmy Butler has never been an alpha to me. If you consider that a hot take, I'm saying it. Tyler been playing better. Tyler's not an alpha, but Tyler been balling his behind off. He been hitting shots. You and me both. Cause Tobias, I told you about the four tops. Tobias always been like the fourth member of the four tops. He did a little routine, and he's in Detroit now. And I don't know what video Tobias had on management. I don't know what he saw in the bushes, but that was hilarious. But then again, maybe they thought Jimmy was going to be problematic because he was probably Minnesota and Chicago. So maybe that's why they wanted a guy that was less on the stress and easy on the. But I still would have rolled with Jimmy over Tobias because Tobias was so sometime. He always was the fourth leading scorer on your team. Even when your team was missing your three, he still was the fourth leading scorer on your team. I always cracked up about Tobias. Tobias is a mess and a half with that. Even when y'all missing y'all main guys, he still was the fourth leading scorer. But Jimmy does wear out his welcome. And I stand by what I said. He was never an alpha. He never was top dog. So the Pistons got a nice squad. I like Cunningham. I like what they're doing. And Stewart's nice. They play hard. They beat the Knicks up. They pretty good. They got a nice. They just missing a star player. That's all they missing. You bring a. Yeah, because he don't have to. He can fit in and blend. Fit and blend. That's all they want. Shoot, you get you a Isaiah Thomas type of guy or Chauncey type of player come along with what they got now, they come out the East because they got structure. That's all they missing is a top tier dude. That's what the Rockets are missing. I kid you not. You put somebody in the right situation with what they got, they could be a problem. They could be a real problem because that's all they missing. That was what Cleveland's doing. Think about it. A lot of these teams are just missing that one dude with that body of team that you got in there young and no one's really paying them mind. And next thing you know, they're making headways, and all it takes is a couple of injuries here and there, and then boom. Now I ain't saying the Pistons gonna go to the finals. I ain't saying the Rockets are. Of course, the Rockets would have a pretty good chance if anything happens with OKC, and Doka can coach. So wish he was selfless like Jordan. I wish he was. I wish his game was like Jordan. And I'm not talking about scoring a lot of points. I'm talking about the mindset that he's going to attack it all the way through. He don't. He does it in the postseason. That would be a good fit. Udoka can definitely work with that because, hey, if they keep Jalen Green and they got that basis, they gonna be a problem because Udoka. I'm gonna tell you something. They not gonna fall out top five this year, and them young legs and guns can go. So they're gonna be a problem. They're no fluke. Fred Van Fleet, I watched them, and they can go. They quick, they agile. They're gonna be a problem. So I give what credit is due. I will give credit where credit is due. He needs to go somewhere like that and rejuvenate because this thing ain't working. That day of the big threes ain't working. And his partners that he used to team up with are old men now anyway. Kyrie getting old, James Harden old. So he has to go somewhere young and rejuvenate. He'd be great on a young team. Be the OG. No, no. I got videos coming out where I do these kind of things too. No, because Barkley wasn't better than Carmelo at that stage of his career. And and Barkley was probably more athletic and we liked him more, but he wasn't as disciplined and as focused as Carmelo. If he had been as disciplined and as focused as Carmelo and added to his repertoire, we'd be talking about him somewhere between the 7th and 14th greatest player ever. We already say he's in the 20 to 25 range, but if he had Carmelo's mindset, we'd be talking 7 to 14 range. That's the difference. Only if he comes off the bench in Houston, talking about Jimmy Butler. He ain't gonna take over no starting position because he's too ineffective. But if they can get him for like a discount, something low, then yeah. Oh, he was. Because he missed the odds and the ends. He come up big when he had to, but the little, filling in the spots and the places, that's what eluded him. He looked for the big shot, he longed for the big play, but it was a little inconsistencies with the small things that got in the way. Now, if you put Karl Malone on that Phoenix Suns team that lost to the Bulls in the finals, I think Karl Malone win. I don't think Barkley could go because Barkley didn't come up big when he had Phoenix against Houston those 2 years, and a lot of times it was just his lack of good finishing it up, which hurt him. That's what hurt him. His skill set was better. In whose MVP consideration? Just because they doing good don't mean no one's talking about no MVP consideration. Let's not get it twisted. And we only care about the top four. We ain't going to 14. We saying the four. And if he is, he's in that bottom end of it, but no one's going there. Next year, Timmy LaMelo Ball's in the MVP consideration too. And don't give him no time. They might. Yeah, well, Christie's a good. He understands the culture. He's getting them to play more loose. The problem with Mike Brown is it's more structured, and those guys were choking. They too good. I don't care. Yeah, he's coaching the Sacramento Kings. I don't care about no 65 game rule for no awards because we don't really pay awards no mind no way. I mean, you can debate. Shea should get the MVP. That's a duh. But after that, it's like whatever. But I'm not surprised that Sacramento they got too much talent to be underachieving. They should be better than what they are. They should be a come up team. They should be in the top six in the West, not be battling and scrubbing at the bottom. Christie was a feisty cat. So keep on with these questions. Keep hitting the like. Bring it up. 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 85% said Lamar Jackson. Ooh. Yeah, Mike Brown is the kind of guy that he likes to run scrimmages, styles, and stuff, and it kind of wears its welcome after a while, and it messed up with the Aaron Fox. He cried to get the MVP. What's it done? He's got something on his resume and his mantle place, but what's it mean in terms of his team? I don't care. I don't care. I really don't care. I stopped caring about league MVPs when Steve Nash started getting it, so I don't really pay it a lot. I mean, there's some years, obviously, when Steph won it, Miami when LeBron won it, Durant, but I ain't really paid it a lot of mind. You know, he did because he cried. He's like, "Oh, I should get." He did. He cried for it, and they were hoping that it would ignite a spark on his behind when he went against Jokic. It didn't ignite no spark. He went back to crying. I'm not gonna say that he had a great game. What was a phenomenal about a team that was eighth seed and knocked out in the first round that choked and he helped choke them against Phoenix? What's the phenomenal about that? He didn't do nothing for his team. He had an 81-point game, and what did his team do? They were also ran 500 team, got knocked out early. He powdered them out until they got Paul Gasol. What's the phenomenal about that? And until they got Paul Gasol and got the bigs playing, because him and Lamar trying to do their Jordan Scotty didn't work. He looked like Shaq was like the Bambino curse with the Lakers. It looked like it was going to be the Phantom of the Shaq in LA until they got that. He scored a lot of points. I'll give you that. But what? But he also blew that Phoenix game. He had an off game. He had an off game. He didn't show up in one of those games. I seen him actually just go cold. So I've had issue with him. He was a great player and very talented, but he also had his shortcomings. I want people to tell the whole truth about him. That's why he's not in my top three or four or five players ever. And I tell it all the time. LeBron ain't either, but Kobe sometimes he would pout and mount. And what you want doesn't sway what I saw. And I can tell you games he didn't show up in the playoffs too, because he pouted and mounted. I know what he did. I was very much aware around '03. What do you want to say? What's your point? So was Michael Jordan. So was Shaquille O'Neal. So was Magic Johnson. So was Larry Bird. Some people say that about LeBron. Some say that about Steph Curry. What's your point? Dr. J. What's your point? Wilt Chamberlain was too. So was Bill Russell. So was Oscar Robertson. So was Jerry West. That's no hot take. That's a fact take. I mean, AI was running his thing. He did the thing. And T Mac, when he got with Orlando and Wade was, that's a fact. You're not gonna hear me argue against it. But AI got old and he fell off. T Mac never had it mentally, had the physical components. Wade just didn't have a Shaquille O'Neal talent around him after he won. And it kind of veered off. And then people kind of forgot selectively. Ray Allen was in that very good in between there, but he wasn't quite on that level, but he was close. Dangled at times, but he shot outside. And he kind of got labeled as like a better version of Reggie Miller, which basically guys weren't going to do it. Franchise Marbury were good guards. underachievers though. Steve Francis should have been way better. Marbury should have been way better. Brandon Roy was scary. That one I will give you. He was scary. And for my money, if he was healthy, it would have been no Dame time in Portland. He'd have been probably in that. He would have been right there with Bill Walton and Clyde Drexler as the greatest Blazer, because his injuries is what prevented it. That was a bad dude, and I like him better than I do Dame Lillard. I know Dame got all the acclaim and all. I'll take Brandon Roy for 500, Alex. He moved me far more, far more. Kobe gave him up depth too. He was bad. But anyway, yeah, when you start talking about shooting guards, yeah, I mean, I'm not. It's no argument, Jay Will. That's my actual. Danny got hurt, and he was everything that Paul George never was. He just got hurt, but he was tough. Bill Walton was like pre Sabonis and a bit like Jokic. Could handle the rock inside out. One of the few guys I saw who could hang with Kareem, and he was bad, but he got hurt, and then he fell off, and then his legs, and then later as a six man with the Celtics. But one of those guys that for his moment he was on it. He was something else. Walton was athletic. He would have easily been one of the greatest centers with no hesitation. Skill set was there. Crazy in college too. I mean, he yeah, Danny was something else. Danny had a tough game. Danny was tough. He was tough. I like Walton a lot. He was tough because he was athletic and he could move with and without the ball. Yeah. Okay. Him and Kareem 1 and 1A. You can make a debate. It's tough because Kareem. I mean that UCLA thing with John Wooden. It's tough. He was because he came off the bench. He grabbed boards. He was athletic. He did his part. He did his part. He did his part. And that's it. And the scary part, that was the half of him. That's how dang. That's how bad that guy was. That was the half of him. The whole of him. He was Walton was tough. He was tough. All right, we got these votes in, doing real good. 86% for Lamar. Wow. Okay. Lamar got some. Lamar is winning this poll easily. Whoa. I hope you don't think too much of. I guess the Josh Allen love ain't that deep. I'm not tripping at it all. I do agree he's got more at stake because if he was to go out and win, from historical perspective, it puts him in rarefied company, and then it's like wow. Whereas if Josh Allen wins, yeah, he gets it, but he's not quite. It's not. He's not seen in the same level. That's what it comes down to. Talent is there, but the levels. There's levels to it, so it's very debatable. All right. I remember what Larry Bird said. I watched that series when they beat the Rockets, and he came up big. That's when Ralph Sampson and King were playing for the Rockets, and Bill Walton was big that year. That's when they had that 40-1. They were like 40-1 at home. You used to couldn't go to the Garden and win. That was a no no. That Boston Garden was haunted house. They definitely put some. They were definitely full of tricks up in there. He earned it. He earned it. His player efficiency ratings, his scoring, his rebound, his assists. He earned it. He was a difference maker. They camped out in the finals. He earned it. You know, he was that he was that deadly. He was that great. He set a standard. There's no. Yeah, I mean, the guy could shoot, beat you in different ways. I mean, he earned it. That's the way I put it. The bottom line, and that's back when you win an MVP and we debated you. The only person who didn't benefit from winning multiple MVPs was Moses Malone because the Rockets weren't as successful, and that worked against him. But he's still a great all-time great player. But Bird, because they were winning and it was at such a high level, and there's a lot of factors involved. He's athletic. He fits what Udoka's style. I think that would be a good move for the Rockets. I still don't think they're gonna beat SGA and OKC, but they might be the second best. Again, second best team in the West. Might just be that. I just don't think they're gonna beat SGA. And when Chad Hogan comes back, I just think that OKC's got too they too deep. I watched Bird live in color. I can tell you remember the different games. The game against Atlanta when he scored that 60, the ball over the rim. He he wore you down. The only person I saw who could give him a little problem was Michael Cooper, but Bird would wear you down. Every time he shot the ball, you were like holding your eye, holding your. James Worthy was scared. He really did send shivers down you because he just had that cold blooded attitude. He beat you. He went against better talent, Dominique and Drexler and Jordan and all that, but he still imposed his will. He knew how to impose his will on you. He would. He drive you crazy. Yeah, Booker would be a good fit. I still remember that game against Houston in the '80 when he missed that free throw and he came all the way and got that shot off. Moses Malone was talking trash to him. We get four guys from St. Petersburg and beat the Celtics, but he didn't beat them. I disagree with that because Wilt should be number one. Nobody had a better peak than Wilt Chamberlain. Shaq should be higher. Bird and Kareem should be higher. Jordan would be top four. I don't. I don't. Larry Bird was because he beat you more different ways. Bird beat you more different ways. If LeBron fundamentally went with the aesthetics that Larry Bird did, he would be no doubt conversation go. But Larry Bird was just smarter with his thing. The last second shot he wasn't scared of. He wasn't scared to go at you. He wasn't scared. And he didn't have this built-in team. Parrish and McHale came on and they got great. But he just fundamentally knew how to take you over. That's when it's tough for me because I'll say this. I like Magic more, but I can't say that he was better than Larry Bird. He could beat you in different ways. He could beat you in more ways. But Bird was a better pure scorer. And Bird actually, when you look at the overall totality of talent, he won with less. Well, we don't even bring that one up. Magic as a coach was like about as believable as Michael Jordan as an owner, or Isaiah Thomas as a GM. That's comical. I could go Bird over Magic. I can go Magic over, but that's debatable. But I do say that Bird can hang. You can hang with him. Anybody you mention, Bird can hang with. Anybody you mention, Bird can hang with. That's one thing I can say. Whether I take him over as a story, but can he hang with him? Yes. Fundamentally, he can hang with anybody. Anybody I want you want to mention, I put him neck and neck with. Should have beat the Bulls. Should have beat the Bulls. Didn't really have an answer for Shaq, but they should have beat the Bulls. I'm taking Bird. I'm taking Larry Bird. The more and more time goes on, Bird, because Braun's got all these stats and all that, but he didn't. Bird fundamentally just got it right. He got it right. Got it right. And I think Larry Bird would have been in '80s behind about playing better too. I just do. Bird made his teammates better too. We don't talk about it. We know about it. Bird made his teammates better. Kareem, for me, because I seen them both play at the Apex. Kareem had the most unstoppable shot I ever seen. Olajuwon was great, but he didn't have another instinct like Kareem did. Not for the longevity. Kareem had a rare ability to beat you. A rare. Yeah, you can tell me about moves and stuff. I'll give you that. But fundamentally, I'm going with Kareem. I'm starting Dr. J. Only because Kawhi don't play. I got to bench KD, and then I got to cut Kawhi. If Kawhi played like he's supposed to, I'd have Kawhi as off my bench and Doctor start. I'm still gonna have Dr. J starting because if I go ABA Dr. J, he's starting. NBA Doc bench, then Kawhi would get the start. KD would get cut. That's only because KD don't stay healthy. I know about the shake, but what else did he have? He didn't hit the shake ain't the same as the sky hook. I lost more games in pickup and playing 21 against someone with a sky hook than I ever did with a shake. He was. That's why I say he's frustrated. He's probably one of the most frustrating players I've ever seen because if he stayed healthy and allowed and played at his apex, I'd be tempted to almost start him over Dr. J. And he would definitely not get cut because I take him over KD. Definitely. And I don't hesitate. It's just that he just so half hearted. And that's a problem I got with him. If he played like because he's great. He's Hall of Fame bound, 175 grades, all that. Imagine if he put it in. He got a body, physical shot that you can't stop. He could play defense. He's just frustrating. And that's why it's so down. Because I believe if he was healthy, he'd be one of the 5, 10 best players going right now if he was motivated and play like that. He just don't. So I don't even talk about him. And they Dr. J held him in high regard too. Kawhi was something else. He just, be honest, because he's done it with less. He ain't had no Paul Pierce. He ain't had no Ray Allen. He ain't had that. He got Doc Rivers, and we're gonna see how that turn out. He's gotten better. His overall ability to come from someone who didn't have a shot to bulk himself up to make himself into a better player. Yeah, to me, he's a better player. I know KG got the stats all around game, but Giannis, come on now, Giannis is gonna have stats too. Giannis got more MVPs. He's a more dominant player. I never looked at KG as one of the first or second or third best player in the league. I can debate Giannis anywhere from 1 to 2 to 3 and don't think about it twice. When was KG ever that? At his peak in his prime. Giannis, the problem that Giannis has got is that he has to have the right attitude and mindset. And take it on his shoulders to win. And stop with the pseudo Rocky. I'm gonna come back and show you type. You gotta bring it. So Giannis for me, even though KG was a better natural player, but Giannis for me, because I mean, he bunny hops, he do what he do, he gets what he want, and he can play defense, and he's doing it with pretty much being him and Dame don't even connect. I know that one's tough for me, but I gotta say Steph. As far as a point guard, if you're asking me as an overall player, I'm taking Magic. But I like Steph more for what he's done because he hasn't played with the likes of a Kareem or a Worthy. That's a fact. Durant is not Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and some people might not even look at Durant as better than James. You know, he got better. No, I got Steph as a point guard. I got Magic as the player, but Steph, I could go with Steph because he changed the course of the game. Magic did too for his time, but what Steph Curry did, he took positions out. He's still playing at a high level. His it's still uncanny what he can do. I don't think people are scared to give it to Steph because they ain't seen nothing like him. They've tried. They've tried. They have tried, and they don't have an answer for him. This is gonna be my hot take, and it ain't gonna be popular. I gotta say Steph because of what he did as a player. Just a little bit. He moved me more in terms of what he was able to do. And they both won without a big name and without. There are some similarities. Kobe got more scoring, but Steph inspired his teammates, inspired his play. He won with all obstacles. He kept Clay around, Draymond around, team guy, kept enhancing his craft, and he changed the course of the game. And I like Kobe a lot, but I gotta say Steph. I do. I gotta say Steph. He belongs in those conversations. It's not like you said. Now, don't ask me about him and Jordan because I'm gonna tell Jordan over Steph. But that's because he could take over games mentally, psychologically. But most of the guys on the perimeter or running the ball like him, I'm taking Steph over quite a few guys because Steph won without a dominant low post present player. He changed the course with guard play, backcourt winning rings, league MVP. His 25,000, close to 25,000, anywhere from 25,000 to 30,000 points in a ring less than Kobe, but gone to six finals. And it's, yeah, I can say Steph. I can say it. Kobe was a better defender, but Steph can shoot anywhere on the floor. He can beat you anywhere off the tee. Kobe could not have won without a low post dominant player. Steph never had that. Steph changed the way you look at basketball. I'm just saying. His passing game, his passing game, because he was a good passer. He could whip that ball pretty good, and he was athletic. He wasn't just some big log. He was athletic. It's just that he settled for fading away, and he settled for finger rolls and stuff that kind of, you know. If this thing goes off in a little bit, which it probably will, I'm going to stop the show because I've been on for 2 hours. And it's so good, I might come back tomorrow. Definitely, if I don't come back tomorrow, I'll probably come back Saturday. Be one of the 2 days. Look out for me for sure before the playoff games start. But just saying in advance, I like Kobe a whole lot. Don't get it twisted. But I had a lot of hit and miss with him. But it's not. It's nothing. Look, Steph belongs in the conversation with Magic and Kobe. He belongs in those conversations. I feel he's one of the 10 greatest players ever. And Yeah, he should. He should. Because John Starks was out there just. And do you think it was 2024 the way John Stark was shooting it? Because Pat Riley wasn't getting out of Ewan. And Patrick Ewing just wasn't an alpha like that. He couldn't match a lot. He should have been able to. It was a low scoring physical battle. This is a great discussion. I appreciate this. What we like to talk about. Get some opinions and some great. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank all y'all. Yeah, Patrick Ewing never really engaged the way he should have. His talent, work ethic, and his mindset were all over the place. And I just think that that's what cost him winning. That's what I feel. Yeah, that was a winnable series. 9 times out of 10, he's gonna think he should have. Yeah, that finger roll against Rick Smith was garbage. That was garbage, and he never was the same after that again. I'm gonna get ready to call it a day. They were, because when Shaq took over in Orlando and the Pacers took over, then when they went and got Larry John, when they had Allen Houston and Spree, and he was hurt that year, and he just never got up again. That's the facts. Oh, I had Nick buddies who couldn't stand him, so I remember very well, very well. Yeah, and we went to the Seahawks, Sonics, and he played for Orlando. He looked old and busted and broke down. It was embarrassing to see him in Orlando, and it was embarrassing to see him in Seattle when he should have been in Seattle 20 years too late. But he would have been something had he played with a legit point guard in his career that could have done wonders for him. I will say that. It was too little too late. And we never got the best, not to got to see him go anywhere. I remember because I was in Seattle when he, and it was, I was like, yeah, you only got him 20 years too late. Anyway, I'm going to get ready to roll. Appreciate everybody coming through. It was a great day. Thank you again. And look out for me the next day or two because I might do two more of these or I might just do one. But either way, be on the lookout. Or Rod Strickland. Or Rod Strickland. Because Rod would have been great for him. Jason Kidd would have been really great for him. But again, he was too late. That was too late. But Strickland. But anyway, I'm going to go shoot him, get on out. Appreciate everybody coming through all the questions and appreciate all the thoughts. Great conversation. Let's do this again. And I will see y'all soon. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke. Check out my videos because I got videos in the pipeline. Appreciate all the thoughts and the takes. Y'all all right.